Well, hello there everyone, Merry Christmas, because not only is this video out on Christmas, it's being recorded on Christmas morning. Yes, indeed, Santa he has come down my chimney and he's delivered an early present in the form of an episode of Skeleton Crew. Again, I kind of thought they maybe would skip this week. Sometimes they do that if there's big events going on, but no. The episode obviously was due to come out Christmas Eve evening for those in the US, but it is actually Christmas Day for the rest of the world. And so I hope you're having a lovely day wherever you are. If you're watching this video in the future, I guess it's a bit weird to see the Christmas tree in the background and it be festive. But nonetheless, we are here with episode number 5 of Skeleton Crew. And I think the safe assumption is that most people are pleasantly surprised with this show. It has been quite entertaining, which is nice to say. You know, again, I think Star Wars has had a pretty tumultuous decade, since the sequels started to come out. Rightly or wrongly, whether you agree or disagree with people's opinions, I think it's safe to say that, for whatever reason, the fan base has been pretty divided. But Skeleton Crew, for those who've seen it, I have not seen any dissenting opinions. It feels like most people are pretty on board, are pretty happy, enjoying it. And I've got to say, I'm of a similar opinion. Last week's episode wasn't something that I feel picked up and started off strongly. I feel like the first half of the episode was a bit rough. It felt a bit rushed, the whole kind of Civil War, almost Mad Max-ish style, setting was a bit unnecessary in the grand scheme of things. Again, I'm okay with them trying to do that if they let it be flushed out, but it seems like, resolving all that in half an episode didn't really do them any favours. So I feel like they could have had a couple of episodes on that planet, really kind of flushed out the characters, the circumstances around what happened. But we only got like half an episode with the tribes, and then the second half of the episode was kind of focused around the Supervisor's Tower, which again gives us some interesting concepts. Everything looks exactly the same on these planets. The designs of the buildings, the placements of the buildings, it seems to all be very strangely synced up. And it's clear that there is something going on here with all these planets. And in the last week, I've seen some interesting theories. I've seen people say that, the supervisor on Aten is, the pirate ship captain. I've seen people say that it is the supervisor is just a skeleton, and the skeleton crew are the droids. The droids are just keeping things running, and have been for however long it's been. So there's some interesting theories out there, but I think we are yet to find out. I think there is a supervisor, but what the Great Works are, we don't know. The Great Works is something mentioned in one of the High Republic novels by the High Chancellor. I think their name was Lena So. I might be wrong, but I remember that it was during the festival where the Night Hill attack. And so it could be all linked into the High Republic. But so far, I've really been enjoying this show. I think the performance of everyone has been fantastic. I love that the characters are all very different. The kids, there's always a risk of having them be too kid-like, but they've all kind of got their own little niches, their own kind of like motivations, and the kids have done really well acting them. I love Jod. Jude Law's done a fantastic job acting. SM33 is a delight. Again, Nick Frost does a brilliant job on the voice. And, I'm just hoping that the second half of the show is as strong as the first half, because it has been really, really, fun and entertaining. So, without further ado, why don't we get into it, and let's watch the episode. You can tell this is a different planet. They've got a barrier there, preventing people from falling off a high place. That's not standard. Maybe that's the lost treasure, the knowledge of railings. Yeah, those droids give off a freaky vibe. He's watching you.
We have to do something. Farah, please.
See, I think there is a supervisor, because otherwise it would be too suspicious. It sounds like they know the supervisor and they've spoke to them. And I don't think it's the pirate captain, because otherwise, I mean, it's been decades. Unless they're a species that lives for a long time. It's not going to be a pirate captain.
And you just want him to take you home.
You're just scared.
You're scared.
He's just a big kid, isn't he, Jod?
Okay, be switching on.
And she's like, well, you fucking what? Why me? Oh. What do you want?
Do you remember
I love him.
where Aden is?
Aboard the mysterious ship, the Onyx Cinder. When he just...
disappeared. Yeah. Well, we know what happened there. We found it.
disappeared. Crew. Ship. All.
It's not quite so... it's not quite so, you know, spooky when you're on the ship and you know what happened.
Then take us there.
Aye, Captain.
He just breaks it. I love it. I just love how carefree this show is. It does not give a fuck.
What's a concubine?
You don't want to know.
Story time for now.
Yeah.
Oh, how I've missed it.
Yeah, it was the concubine. His secret lair was the concubine.
There lies in the heart of a lone mountain where bubbling pits of mud.
See him again soon.
Not my mom.
Oh dear. Delving into trauma. And you can see he's like, oh shit.
Here's what you do. Forget him. Your fears,
I thought he meant his
your
parents.
anxieties, your parents.
Oh no, he does, yeah.
They're what you call attachments.
Oh no.
They're the last thing you need.
That, to be fair, that is the Jedi way, isn't it?
That's what I did.
I can't do.
Forgo all attachments. Become emotionless and cold.
You have vision. Embrace
Ooh.
it.
Okay, I'm fairly certain they are Force powers now.
The one you want to live.
I'd just like for him to not be a Jedi.
You brought us to Lanupa.
Is this like...
The Demon's Rest, Battle World, Lanupa.
Do you have a reservation?
Is this like the Star Wars equivalent of Riser
I thought we
from Star Trek?
Hey, shush, shush.
I go where the captain goes.
Fine.
Oh, SM-33 is the
Empty your
screwdriver in every single plan that Jod has.
Old Republic credit you're hiding. From the Bratric system, the most wise elders.
The most wise elders.
Wise elders.
Oh shit.
That's our obsession here at the spa. Luxury, served by indulging each guest's unique proclivities.
Oh wow, I love it.
Over there is our
This is the kind of weird prequel-ish stuff that I think we need a little bit more of.
Delicacies from across the sector.
I should enjoy myself.
He's gonna get a mud bath.
To one of your finest suites. Oh, and ask the chef to select a banquet.
I'm searching the spot.
And I must go with my captain.
Fine. 33. Fern. Whim. You're one.
No, I want to go with Wim. And we wanted to search the buffet.
We're not searching the buffet.
We should be on my team.
No, it doesn't matter whose team who is on. We're doing
Oh,
it. We're
I
gonna
can
do it
appreciate
before we
Jod's
get killed
energy
by
so
pirates.
much.
Am I clear?
That is what kids do
Find
to a lot of people, is just
Find at
grate them down. It's a hut. Oh, he's gonna eat them. He's gonna eat him.
No, sir, not again. No, please, no.
Not again.
See anything familiar, 33?
Oh my god.
Those are supposed to be for dissolving corpses in acid.
It's gonna be something in the gas. That's a moon.
Jod!
Back away from the captain.
Oh my god, that's amazing. He's got a mustache.
Neil!
It's a squid octopus thing with a mustache. I'm sure that's a That's probably a species from Legends or something. I don't immediately recognize it.
Let us into battle at the head of the Troik army.
Quite a story. Then what happened?
I look, he's just leaning on the side of the pool. That is...
Said he'd help us if we entertained him. Over.
Oh my god.
So this is Jog.
On paper, I should hate this, but it's so much fun.
Well, it's great you're making friends. We
Oh.
have a situation here, so...
Catholics is gonna help us out.
Catholics. Come on now. Catholics. Catholics? No. Oh.
Welcome to Lanupa, a neutral planet where all are welcome if they
Are you just gonna shoot them? Yeah. Oh.
Find that fugitive and get back up here. Spa's being attacked by pirates.
Oh, this could just be a labyrinth of security guards getting caught into these traps. That'd be amazing just to see them all get sliced and diced. Oh. Don't step in. Oh. Oh, I love it. It's a reverse spike pit.
Don't worry. There's
And there's the pirates. Oh, that's great. Love it. Oh, this is some proper Indiana Jones shit. Look at that. Lightsaber. That looks like a familiar hilt. Definitely High Republic design.
Aye.
Refill that chamber with acid.
Oh, and it'll dribble. Oh, that is brutal.
Now.
What's wrong with the picture?
Quiet. All hands to seize the treasure. No one knows.
That is a proper pirate's hat, isn't it?
Old Republic Mint.
Old Republic. Who is that? I mean, the only reason they must be distorting the images because it's some reveal.
It's where they make money.
Make money? You can have infinite money.
Well, the economics are a bit more complicated than that, Wim. You see, the more money you make, the less it's
Take us
worth.
home, you get a fair reward, right?
I invoke my right to challenge the captain.
She's a kid.
The challenge is thrown. Hand-to-hand combat. To the death.
What?
To the death? Oh no.
I must follow.
He's shown his hand.
Just say you yield, and I won't hurt you.
Question is, would he hurt a kid? Sure, he will melt pirates in
Just say
acid.
you'll yield.
But will he hurt a kid? Oh, yes, go for it. He's got a lightsaber.
Careful, Wim.
You will.
One of your stories.
You will fuck something up. It's the wrong way around. I could tell instantly he was holding it upside down.
Mutinous intent against their captain.
I mean, sure, but they'd be much better as crew. Oh, nice! Oh, we're about to find out if he is trained in the ways of the Jedi arts. He's got his lightsaber! Well, what a fun episode. I think that might be my favourite so far. Yeah, you know what? On paper, I should really not like this show because it's got so many kind of cheesy ideas, but it's just executed so well that I just can't help but really, really enjoy it. Like, the humour in particular, it's very risky. You know, I think Star Wars, you look at the style of humour it had when it first came out, and it was perfectly placed. It wasn't overdone. It was silly, but it wasn't overly silly. And one of the issues I had with the sequels is that it was too Marvelish. It was too like a Marvel movie at times. And so, you know, you've got to really know how to handle humor in a Star Wars setting. And here it's done really, really well. It's done, you know, there's a perfect balance. And this show in particular, there's more humor than normal, but it just really works with the setting because this show doesn't take itself too seriously. It really doesn't. And the more it goes along, the less that I'm convinced that it's a show for kids. The less that I'm sat there thinking, yeah, this is a kid's adventure. You know, we didn't see it, but we heard it. You know, a bunch of pirates got melted in acid in this episode. You know, they went to a pleasure spa. You know, we had a grown man holding a knife to a child's throat under threat of death. You know, this isn't necessarily, the theme at least isn't a kid's show. But I really, you know, there was some really silly stuff here, like Cthulhups was his name, the Cthulhu monster. Like, that is so on the nose. That should be something that I'm like, I hate that. That is a terrible idea. You know, even like a mustache. But for some reason, it just really, really worked. The way he was kind of lying on the pool side, you know, when they came back, it seems to me it's almost like, because the show has set itself up to not be taken too seriously, because it's a detached story. And I think that helps when it's not connected to anything larger, when it's just its own self-contained story that you don't necessarily think of it as a larger Star Wars thing. It's just, hey, this is a group of people in that Star Wars galaxy doing their own thing. You can kind of appreciate when it doesn't take itself too seriously, and it's very different to anything else that we've had. You know, it is, obviously the theme is pirate-based, but it's very pirate-based, and that's why it feels, you know, unlike anything else we've been given so far. And the look and the vibe of everything is great. The cinematography is fantastic. You know, one of the things that I've criticised in recent projects is that they have looked very cheap despite being extremely expensive. You know, Ahsoka in particular comes to mind, where they had a massive overuse of the volume, and it really showed. You know, the lack of location shots, the lack of actual props, you know, in the background was very telling. But here, you know, I don't know what the techniques were. I mean, clearly there's a lot of on-set shooting. There is a lot of location shooting as well. And there is probably a mixture of the volume and some other, you know, technology elements there. But it's done so well now. There's a good mix of each that, you know, it disguises any weaknesses that the technology side of things might have. And it makes everything look great, you know, and there's some really good vibes. Like, you know, the treasure room had massive Indiana Jones vibes. You know, the pleasure spa had massive prequel vibes. And, you know, it's just nice to be given these different environments that are unique. They expand the world, as it might be. You know, and again, the characters are all so great. You know, Jude Law is doing a fantastic job of the little subtleties, you know, the little bits of facial movements that kind of betray his real emotions. And, you know, you just never know what he's going to do next. You know, you want to root for him, but at the same time, you're very wary that, you know, he is a bit of a scoundrel. You know, he has betrayed people. He's got all these different names. He's got a bounty. And, you know, you sat there thinking, oh, he's not going to betray the kids. He's going to endear himself to them. He's going to find his heart. And, you know, right now I'm still thinking to myself, well, is he? You know, a great way to end the episode is by him, you know, grabbing the lightsaber. You know, I didn't think there was going to be a lightsaber in this, and I'll be honest, I would have been fine if there wasn't. But again, it's another one of those things that the introduction of it makes sense. Again, I love the fact that this show doesn't go with the obvious kind of like, oh, Wim picks up the lightsaber, ignites it, and challenges Jod, and it's a lightsaber, and, you know, there's nothing that Jod can do because it's a lightsaber, it'll cut through his knife. But no, he's holding it upside down, and he doesn't know what he's doing. And so the kids don't prevail over Jod. I like that pragmatic approach of, yeah, not everything always works out perfectly. Not everything always goes in the kids' favour. The kids are just kids. And, you know, I like that kind of development in Wim of, you know, he wants an adventure. He's getting the adventure, but he's really in over his head, and he realises it for what it is. It's dangerous. He's scared. And so I think just that realistic approach to everything is what is really endearing me to this show. Because it's not the cliche, stereotypical adventure where, you know, everything goes right and the kids find wonder in everything that really should be quite scary. You know, yes, they've had a few close calls, but, you know, overall, they've been very lucky in their escapes. You know, and realistically, Jod is acting like a pirate would act. You know, yeah, he has his little bits of humanity where he doubts what he's doing, but he still does the selfish thing. And I've no doubt that by the end of it, you know, he will come through and prove himself to be a good person. But right now, I think that, you know, they are teasing us. You know, we are at that point where it's like the second act where everything seems to be going to shit. And again, we'll find out more as well. I think, you know, him getting the lightsaber will expose a bit more about whether he ever was, you know, trained. I don't think he was. I would like for him just to be someone who does have force powers but never got himself tangled up in the Order. Because there's got to be people out there that were like that. People who were missed, or people who just, you know, their families refused to let the Jedi take them. And so they've grown up with these powers. You know, maybe some tried to learn to develop them. But, you know, Jod might never have held a lightsaber before. He might not know lightsaber combat. But there's some really interesting tidbits here now. So the treasure appears to be the mint, the Old Republic mint. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe these 7 worlds all had the mints in them. And so they controlled the flow of currency. And that's why their locations had to be hidden. Because obviously if you get hold of a mint, you know, provided that it's genuine and it's up to date, you know, you can produce, you know, as much currency as you want. Now, obviously, the way economics works, if that is known, if you know, it is known that you are producing more currency, it devalues the existing currency. But the whole point of stealing a mint is that no one knows. And especially if it being older currency, you know, it could lead them into a fortune. So that makes sense for the treasure, if that's what it is, you know, on A'an. But again, we're starting to learn more. You know, obviously the Onyx Cinder. We saw a hologram of the captain, which, you know, again, I don't know if they're trying to build up to a reveal, because again, they distorted it. And I always think, well, if you're not showing us who he is straight away, you're trying to hide something. It might just be that, you know, again, we never see who he is, to keep that mystique. He had a very piratey look. You know, he had a big captain's hat. So it might just be that they do want to keep that mystery and focus on the current day pirates. So there's a bunch of seagulls right outside. It's that time of the morning where, you know, everyone's just waking up now. And those seagulls are right outside the window. But yeah, no, I'm absolutely loving it, you know, so far. SM33, you know, again, continues to delight in everything that he does. And, you know, again, the acting job on everyone is fantastic. So this show has been a real delight. It's been a real surprise. And, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. You know, it was a nice bounce back from last week's episode, which, again, I thought the first half was just a little bit unnecessary. You know, again, it's not a massive criticism because I thought it ended really well. But it was my first kind of little hint that maybe something isn't quite right here, or maybe the show is going to start falling apart. But no, bounce back really strong. And I can't foresee, you know, if you want to take things really serious, if you are the type of person to go, well, this is stupid, the kids wouldn't do that, or there wouldn't be a droid like that in Star Wars, there wouldn't be pirates in the Star Wars universe, then yeah, you're probably not going to like this. But if you can afford to let yourself just let go and just enjoy it, nothing to complain about in this show. So anyway, hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you for the next one.